Most relationships don't fall apart because people stop loving each other. They slowly fall apart because two people become afraid of having uncomfortable conversations. The scary part is, avoiding conflict feels like you're protecting the relationship when it's actually creating the very thing you're trying to avoid. So with that being said, I present to you the conflict avoidance cycle, right? As with my previous video, I'm just going to go step by step into how this works and how you can break out of this cycle. All right. So first things first, you have a conflict that arises, and let's say neither party initiates that difficult conversation about the conflict on whatever happened. You guys got into a fight about something. You guys have a disagreement, whatever it is. Nobody initiates the fixing stage in terms of like just trying to get it resolved. So what happens is that the difficult conversation gets avoided, right? Then what ends up happening next is that temporary peace happens because of the fact that nobody wants to initiate the rebuilding part, right? Nobody wants to initiate the fixing part, right? Temporary peace happens. And so the conflict doesn't actually get resolved. It's just temporary. And I actually like to call this keeping the peace, right? And so because of that, what ends up happening next is, look, problems grow. Problems grow because of the fact that the initial conversation does not happen, right? There's peace, but that doesn't mean that the conversation is resolved because it still needs to happen. But because of that, problems grow. And so now you might be thinking, okay, OJ, what happens next? Well, simple. Resentment builds. Why does resentment build? Resentment builds because of the fact that problems are growing and nobody is talking about anything, right? So what happens next? Small issues cause fights. Small issues are going to cause fights because of a result of that resentment that is building. So what happens next? Well, conflict is going to feel dangerous. Why is conflict going to feel dangerous? Well, it's simple. Conflict is going to feel dangerous because of the fact that look at what we have already down here. These are the main three reasons why. All right, we have problems that are growing, which garners resentment in either party, and small issues that are going to occur will cause fights. So fights are more likely to happen. And because of that, any type of conflict feels dangerous. Nobody is going to feel safe in terms of addressing whatever conflict they might have. And because of that, the final thing that happens in this cycle is the next conversation gets avoided. So this is the conflict avoidance cycle. So let me go ahead and recap this a little bit. So we have a conflict that happens, right? Nobody decides to initiate the rebuilding process in terms of addressing the conflict, trying to hear each other out, and trying to resolve what happened. So because of that, temporary peace occurs because of the fact that the issue is not being talked about. And when that happens, problems grow, whether it is internally or externally. And because of that, resentment is going to build from those problems that have been growing that don't get talked about. And when those problems don't get talked about, any type of small issues that happen in the future are going to cause fights. Fights are going to be more likely to happen because of the resentment that's getting built. And when that happens, conflict feels dangerous. Any type of future conflicts that's going to happen is going to feel dangerous. Neither party is going to feel safe addressing their conflicts. And because of that, any future conversations are going to be that much harder to address because it has already been established that conflict feels dangerous to address. And so that is the conflict avoidance cycle. Now, if you find yourself in this cycle or you want to know how to break out of it, what can you do? Well, it's simple, really. All you have to do is be aware of any conflict that happens, no matter whether it is a disagreement or not. You have to remember that the real problem isn't you guys. The people who have the conflict is not the problem. The problem is the conflict. So what you and your partner have to remember, or a friend or whatever, is that you guys have to work together to solve the issue, right? When you promote togetherness, then both people are going to feel more inclined to solve whatever conflict there is. And what that is going to do is create emotional safety, and that which either party will feel more comfortable addressing concerns or issues, right? And so that is how you can rig yourself out of the cycle. But that's the thing though, you have to make sure that you address any small concerns or issues that happen before they turn into big ones. Remember, a healthy relationship isn't one with no conflict. It's one where both people feel safe bringing up the small things before they become big ones. With that being said, this is OJ speaking. Stay wise, be you.